live. This is my first general reading live of the year. I'm super excited. I took a break. Your girl's always taking breaks, but that's neither here or there. Let's go ahead and get straight into the readings. We're gonna do about, well, pretty much all of the signs today. I have the list of the signs in front of me, and I just want to jump straight in so I don't keep you guys here forever. Okay, I'm gonna pull about 4 cards from my tarot, then we're gonna jump into the oracle decks that I have over here as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So the first sign we're gonna start with is Taurus. So what is the spiritual messages my Tauruses need to hear for the month of February? First card we have the Page of Wands. So Page of Wands talks about inspiration. I think your spiritual team is calling for you guys to move with the sense of fire, inspiration, and also understanding that you've had to grasp when it comes to your past, okay? There's been some past pauses that you've had to essentially step into to understand what's next for you, to rethink some things. And February is challenging you to kind of go outside of the realm. Let me write in the comments too what sign I'm doing so you guys know. Taurus now. So yes, this is an invitation. Hey Maggie, this is an invitation to go out of the realm of what feels comfortable and to move with a sense of inspiration and motivation from all that you've learned. Also, when it comes to irritation that stems from wanting things to be different, know that in you taking action on what is in your control is all that's needed from you. Let your spiritual team do the rest when it comes to matching your efforts. We also have the 9 of Cups. So the other spiritual message for you, Taurus, for February is to be very clear on your expectations with others. You could be dealing with somebody in the romantic realm where they may not necessarily understand how to meet your needs. They may understand what your needs are, especially if you have been vocal. It just may be they don't necessarily know how to go about maybe resolving or meeting these needs in particular. So trying to be as clear as possible about how your person can maybe, heal the relationship or be in support or to do, if I can talk, and and to do certain things within the relationship. I think that's going to be important. I can't talk. Anywho, I also have the Page of Swords. So that's so funny. I couldn't talk just now. I couldn't speak. And then the Page of Swords comes out, which talks about communication and certain things being left unsaid or up in the air. So if there is a block in communication when it comes to your person, I think that getting to the root of why maybe you feel like you have to tuck your feelings, or if your person is having a hard time communicating, the root as to why this may be happening. I think that also too, Spirit wants you to know that the answers that you're seeking are naturally going to come to you. So again, let the cards fall as they may, no pun intended. Okay, so we also have the 10 of Pentacles, which talks about foundation, family, legacy, the root of a relationship as well, romantic relationship or marriage. The message from your spiritual team when it comes to a long-term relationship, you guys have made it here for a reason in terms of you guys being together for however many years. It's essential that you guys are not letting these issues compile in a way where it's unresolved, because that's what could test the foundation beyond the time and the effort. Also, when it comes to any family relationship that you feel weighed down or stressed out about in terms of wanting to fix, and maybe things haven't necessarily opened up yet in terms of opportunity to do so, give it some time. Okay, I keep hearing the word give it some time. I'm going to pull an oracle card from here as well for you, Taurus. What is the message for February 2025 for my Taurus they need to hear? So we have good luck, which is the coin on the ground, or coins. So the spiritual message here is it's important that you tap into your good luck effect. And what I mean by this is the ability to move through situations now, especially with the wisdom and understanding that you have, where in you not giving up, you're going to get exactly what you want. So there's a lot more luck than unfortunate circumstances headed your way, if that makes sense. Especially if you're showing up and you're matching Spirit's efforts. Also understanding that in a lot of different ways, even when on the surface it may not make sense to you, there's a lot of things that are falling in place exactly the way that it's supposed to. Also have divine guidance. So with personal insight that you could be reaching, whether this is through dreams, having conversations, and you just reflecting, you're like, oh wait, now I know what to do. Shoot, this could even be through readings. It's important that you move based off the understanding that you're receiving, and not sitting on your ideas or sitting on understanding, but moving with it, taking action with it. But this is what I see for you, and thank you, Taurus. The next sign is going to be Aries. So if you're Aries, it is your turn. Let me delete this so people know that it's Aries. Oh, this cord. All right, so Aries, let's see what's going on with you. What is the spiritual message for my Aries? I'm going to do Sagittarius, I believe, next. So Sag will be right after Aries. And how are you doing? What is the energy coming up for my Aries? What's the messages coming through for the month of February 2025? So we have the Three of Pentacles as the first card. So this talks about networking, the work environment, working diligently on business opportunities, and also positioning yourself when it comes to some sort of like schooling, skill development. There's something here coming up. And also the Three of Pentacles does talk about like cooperation or things working out within a romantic relationship. Like I support you, you support me kind of happening. So the message here, February is going to grant an opportunity for harmony to come into place, especially when it comes to like a relationship, for you guys to be on like the team of supporting each other and being more balanced after things being a bit all over the place. It does also talk about maybe your partner needing some sort of support during this time frame, or you needing more support during this time frame. It also talks about the work environment. Be mindful of certain people who have, hey love, hey Michelle. Be mindful of certain individuals who have a energy of being very, very, what's the word? Combative within the workplace. There could be somebody you work with who just loves to get into some sort of combative riffs. And you gotta be mindful of pouring your energy into like misunderstandings where it doesn't benefit you in any way. We also have the Hierophant. So it does talk about marriage or commitment or committing yourself to some sort of goal. So this month is gonna require Aries to fully commit yourself to say, or not to say, but to do what you say you're gonna do. So if you say, I want to commit to the goal of saving a certain amount of money, or I want to commit to the goal of showing up consistently in my business, whatever goals that you may have, in you consistently committing to showing up in that is where you're going to see progress and you're going to see growth. Also, with the existing commitment, I think that this is going to be a month where it's time to show and prove, especially on your person's part, on your part. I think that the foundation of the relationship could be a lot more stable during this month if you guys are matching each other's energy. I also have the Nine of Cups. So this does talk about goals. It also talks about some sort of personal wish coming true or starting to see progress where this makes you really happy. So again, this is another confirmation that in consistency, there is this success that comes out of it. So if you are looking to get like a new job or you're trying to make more money, I think that this month is going to grant you an opportunity to complete that goal if you're showing up. Also, this is a great month to get clear on exactly what you do want. What do you see for yourself? What do you envision for yourself? We also have the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands talks about foundation. It talks about family. It talks about creativity, a home-based business as well. So those topics may be a focus in the month of February. I think if you do have like a home-based business, it's going to require you, again, consistency. When it comes to family, if there has been a family relationship where it's been strained, I think that this month is going to be all about, okay, can we either co-parent, or if this is like a family relationship, like a person you have children with, can we work on the relationship and strengthen it as a whole? And through either your person's efforts, your efforts, it's going to determine if that becomes a reality. Okay, so let's pull two from here. Aries, what is the message from my Aries for the month of February? So we have surrender. So this is allowing fear and the need to be in control go. Whenever we're being asked to surrender, it's not necessarily in the sense of giving up. It's in the sense of not letting fear lead you in terms of making decisions and being able to distinguish between when we are moving from a place of fear or from a place of faith. And, you know, foresight and just understanding too, because a lot of what we fear is from a place of misunderstanding also the lessons of our past and seeing it as just misfortune and, you know, it being a sign to just give up instead of an opportunity to redirect. And then also, if you do feel called to surrender, like any habits, any friend circles, relationships that don't necessarily, you know, align with where you're at right now, not even necessarily toxic, just may not necessarily align with you, that's okay. And also have motivation. So this goes right into what I was saying before. You gotta know where your motivation lies when it comes to what you are deciding to do within whatever, you know, moves or plans that you have during this time frame. What is your motivation with your business? What is your motivation when it comes to, you know, the career you're pursuing? What is your motivation in fixing a relationship or being in a relationship? Giving yourself free range to think about it. But that is what I see for you, Aries. I hope that those messages were helpful. And next is going to be my Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius. So let's get into it. What are the messages coming through for my Sagittarius for the month of February? Hey, Yadi, how you doing? What are the messages coming through from my Sagittarius? Oh, yes, let me write that. Thank you, Maggie. Oh, she got me covered. Thank you, Maggie, so much. What is coming through from my Sagittarius? Oh. Okay, so we got the Page of Cups as the first card. So the Page of Cups does talk about receptiveness, and it does talk about us receiving new opportunity. So in the month of February, It does talk about opportunity being there, especially for my Sagittarius who are looking to advance career-wise. If you've been at a job where you feel like you're not getting your money's worth in terms of the effort, time, energy that you have to pour into this, this is going to be a time where if you've been looking, you're definitely going to get what you want in terms of another career opportunity to kind of get more of a balanced situation. It does also talk about a relationship where there's an apology that's extended. If you have been dealing with your person and there has been like certain concerns that you've been bringing up to them about the effort and the give and take, I think that either an apology will be due or there will be this opportunity for you to even express how you feel, this person to express how they feel. It does also speak to where just in general, the message here is to make sure that you're not overextending yourself in situations where people may not have the same heart as you. That's one harsh reality we kind of realize with life is that with being somebody who could be willing to, let's say, go above and beyond for other people, they may not necessarily have that same heart or the same spirit or even the ability to give in the same way. So you may be that person that can give an extra $100 or $200 to somebody who needs it, but that same person may not be able to give that back. Or you may be able to give from the purest place within your heart to someone else in terms of, you know, love and support. They may not be in a position to do that same thing because either they've never seen it or they don't really have their guard down to where they're, you know, allowing themselves to be that vulnerable, whatever the circumstance may be. Just understand that could happen, may be happening with certain individuals. I also have the Judgment and also the Queen of Swords. So it does talk about, in the month of February, I think there's just personal epiphanies that you're having too in regards to like what you truly want for yourself. If you've been just in a space of trying to figure that out, okay? And pulling your energy back from things where you don't feel like you've been more so getting what you want, or you're starting to have changed feelings in regards to the path that you've been on. I think February could be just more so like an epiphany month and a point of clarity. It offers a point of clarity. And also a line of better communication as well this month, especially with a air sign or possibly a water sign. What are the messages coming through from my Sagittarius for the month of February 2025? So we have Chance, which is the dice. So of course, this is about taking a chance on yourself, but also understanding that life is interesting. You could take a risk and it could be that one very risk that sends you down a whole new path and a whole new realm of opportunity. And anything that's worth experiencing, living through, comes with the level of taking a chance. We can't be afraid of it. Now there's risk that comes with it. That's just with anything. But a lot of times, the greater the risk, the more rewarding. So Spirit wants you to remember that. Also, I have Feather, which represents messages. So this does talk about your spiritual team sending you messages via like symbols, or this could literally be a feather. You could be out and then you see a whole bunch of feathers laying somewhere, or you walk past a certain area and you keep seeing feathers. That is something that's coming up here, where it could be like your spiritual team kind of showing you like, hey, we're here. But there also could be some symbolic dreams that come up here. But this is what I see. Thank you, Sagittarius. I hope that that was insightful for the month of February. And my next sign, let me see. So we have Scorpio. Scorpio is next. I hope you have some Scorpios in here. So we already did Taurus, Aries, we did Sag, and then now we're on Scorpio. So gonna say that. Okay. You've been having some dreams. Okay, so give me a look at what February has in store for my Scorpios, my bad. My Scorpios for the month of February 2025. What are the messages coming through for my Scorpios for February 2025? So we have the Ace of Cups. During this month, someone's going to show you truly how genuine they are when it comes to caring about you, supporting you. Yeah, this person is going to show you. Now, this could mean in the sense that they show you like the utmost support. They go out of their way for you. This could even mean in the sense of them expressing themselves or finally letting you know how they feel. Especially like a crush. I'm getting that this may be somebody who's newer, where you've never dated this person before, and in them like expressing their interest, it's like, okay, how do I approach this now? Is this genuine? Is this person really meaning me good in their, attempts to approach me? It does also talk about you getting to a place of knowing exactly what you want for yourself and being willing to maybe make sacrifices in order to make it happen. You could be realizing like, okay, in order for me to get what I want, I have to be more receptive and vulnerable, especially when it comes to a newer person you could be dating or a person that you're dealing with where you care about them. But the vulnerability part, if I can talk, has been the part that's been a hindrance in any way. I also have the Knight of Pentacles, which talks about rebuilding. So this month is all about you not focusing on where you came from in terms of beating yourself down for what you feel like you should have did sooner or how things should have went, but more so in the sense of like learning from it, working on what you have in the present moment, and knowing that it's a brick by brick situation. And in you taking the efforts in doing what you can to rebuild yourself back up, you're going to see progress and have a stronger foundation than you did before, especially with the understanding that you have now. I think that also too, if there has been any health issues or health related stuff that you've been trying to work through, struggling with, I think that this month is going to challenge you to be diligent to like stay on track with managing these health things that you're trying to manage. I also have the Strength card. So this talks about willpower and discipline. This goes hand in hand with the Knight of Pentacles, which is another discipline card where it's like, okay, I gotta buckle down and I have to be serious about what I'm pouring my attention and my efforts into. The Strength card also talks about managing anger. There could be certain things that piss you off about either a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo around you, possibly a Leo. Doesn't have to be those zodiac signs, but there could be certain people around you that kind of inconvenience you in certain ways, and it's really hard for you to maybe hold your tongue or stop yourself from maybe going off on this person. So I do see you trying to manage like anger better, or just maybe stop yourself from allowing certain boundaries. Or I won't say stop yourself, but enforcing better boundaries, basically. Also, I have the King of Swords. So yeah, speaking of enforcing better boundaries, I think that you could be telling certain individuals off and letting them know exactly what you think, what you feel, your perspective. And this may not necessarily feel too good at first because you feel like you could be pushed to that point, but then it could be so liberating after in terms of you being able to enforce better boundaries. It also talks about like a whole new level of clarity that this month will offer you. So if you were confused in terms of like your plans and what you want to follow through with, I think that clarity either comes through a conversation, you taking a break from certain things that have been a distraction, It's something that you're going to be doing different in February that's going to be helpful. Now, I have good luck as the oracle. So with good luck, this talks about having luck on your side and so much opportunity right up under your feet. It's important that you're not getting caught up in distractions that make you think otherwise. And also mistaking spirit protecting you as misfortune or bad things happening, when that's not the case. And also have hope, which is interesting how this is the second card. So this talks about going back into a space of believing. Do you actually believe that what you're working towards is going to manifest or going to become a reality? That's the first step to making it happen. Because if we don't believe, then we're not going to all the way pursue or try. We may even try to protect ourselves from not experiencing that disappointment that we already are expecting by not even trying. So this is what I see. I hope that this was helpful, Scorpios. And let's see what's the next sign. So we have Cancer, that's next. And then after Cancer is going to be Pisces. All right, so Cancers, this is for you. Give me a look at the month of February 2025 for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. What is the energy around my Cancers for February 2025? So we have the Page of Wands. So this month, you could draw inspiration from really feeling like inspired by a conversation. Also, this could be being on your own behind. Like whenever I see the Page of Wands, this is like, okay, I really want to get started on this, or should have started this endeavor, this process, this thing, and you push yourself in the month of February to finally like take action. It also talks about revisiting like an initial motivation. So let's say like you were someone who does music, and your initial motivation for creating music was to be expressive, to talk about how you feel about life, to talk about your process. I think that this month is going to challenge you to get back into, or not even challenge you, more so push you to get back into your original reason for why. Beyond also creativity as well. This is like the reason why you used to exercise in the morning, or the reason why you used to go see your family member every weekend. There's something that you're returning to that was like an equilibrium for you, and it's going to be very inspiring and very helpful this month. It does also talk about managing stress or irritation. There could be certain people who are just a bit too much, whether that's in the workplace, family members, co-parenting relationship. It's important that you don't let these individuals be like energy transfers or energy vampires. I also have the Ace of Cups. So it does talk about, a chance to express how you feel. If you have been, let's say, on weird terms with your love interest, I think that this month is going to grant you an opportunity to really make peace. And also for some of you, maybe not necessarily make peace, or regardless of if you make peace, a chance to express yourself. It also speaks to you getting very clear on how you feel. If you were just in a space of like, I don't know where I'm at emotionally with this new person that I'm dating, like I'm interested, but I don't really know. Or with a person that you've been dealing with, it's like, I'm interested in them, but I'm also kind of irritated with certain things that they do. I think this month is going to make it very clear on what you feel is best and what you should do for your best interest. I think this month is also going to challenge you to be more emotionally open and receptive, where you're not blocking your blessings in an unintentional way, especially with the Two of Swords. With the Two of Swords as well, if there has been this like deadlock in communication, Spirit is encouraging you to seek understanding, where if this deadlock is because, let's say, there's certain concerns that aren't being communicated, or there's this like, I'm holding my point of view, I'm holding my ground, and you're holding yours. Seek understanding where there's stubbornness or where ego exists, especially if you do love this person and you do want to make it work. Now, if this is a situation where you're like, no, this person is the author of misunderstanding and I'm willing to have that, you know, communication gap be bridged and all of that, and they're not willing to, whole different story. But yeah, Spirit is saying clear a situation up where ego exists that's keeping you and someone from having understanding. And then last tarot card we have the Eight of Wands that fell. So we have the Eight of Wands. So this talks about progress. This talks about forward movement. This also talks about being overwhelmed with a lot being thrown at you. So make sure you're not trying to do everything all at once, or trying to have like 8 arms in terms of doing so much to where you're not able to manage what's on your plate. Also, if you are relocating or making any big moves, it's important that you're not trying to do everything in that sense as well. And clearing up any misunderstandings that weigh on your heart before you leave as well. Especially if this has anything to do with family. Okay, so we have stability as the oracle card. And we also have chance. So I think that this month is going to be all about making just wiser decisions around your sense of money management. And if there is this like scarcity perspective that you have been struggling with, where now you're a lot more stable and you're just kind of worried about money, it's important that you do not overspend, of course, but don't operate from a place of scarcity where in trying to be, what's the word? In you being afraid of losing the money, you end up spending way more than necessary. Or even being afraid to do certain things that could help you make even more money. Like investing. But that's what I see. I hope that that was helpful. And next is Pisces. Let me make sure my phone's not going to die. Okay, so Pisces. We are good for right now. So this is going to be for Pisces thing for February 2025. It's coming through for February for Pisces for February 2025. So we have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands talks about boundaries. It also talks about being resilient in the face of challenges and things being thrown at us. It also talks about being the type of person who doesn't back down. So February this month, if you have been very much resilient for some time now, I think that there is a lot of payoff or a lot of progress that you're going to be making in doing so, especially when it comes to my people who've been looking for new jobs or been going through some issues within a relationship or a marriage. Now, Spirit is asking you in the month of February to be clear. What are you fighting for? Are you fighting because you're trying to preserve your relationship? Or are you fighting to, how do I want to frame this? Are you fighting to keep toxicity in your life? It's important to know when something's worth fighting for and why we're fighting for it. And also with the Seven of Wands, when it comes to my Pisces who are trying to date and go back out into the dating world, it's important that you're moving with a level of openness. Boundaries, but openness in the sense where Of course, boundaries is more so like, okay, we're in the dating stage, talking stage. It's just certain things I won't let you access quite yet, like meeting my family members or my children if I have any, stuff like that. So that way you can protect yourself. But you don't have to be closed off in an energetic sense. You can be open, and in you being open, this will also allow this person to be open, and you guys are being vulnerable and able to see each other for who each other are, or who each and every one of you, you get what I'm trying to say. Basically, you'll be able to see each other for who each other may be. Also, with the Lovers, this talks about compatibility. If you are in a newer relationship or connecting with someone newer, allow compatibility to kind of shine on its own. If you do find yourself coming from a place of overthinking or wanting to shut down, recognize it and redirect that energy away from the connection itself. It also talks about someone being defensive by your choices or the decisions that you decide to make for yourself. It's important that you don't allow someone else's, opinion or wanting to control the decisions that you make for your life to stop you in your tracks or to keep you hindered in any way. Okay, this could be like a nudgy family member, or this could be someone who is like constantly trying to put input in regards to how you're deciding to live your life or make choices. It's making sure that you consult with you first over advice from anyone else. I also have the Five of Swords and the Two of Cups. So it does talk about misunderstanding that could stem from not knowing someone's angle or intentions. This month, if there is a Gemini, if there is a, like in regards to the zodiac sign, someone you're trying to connect with, and maybe you don't understand this person's intentions, it's important that you don't automatically write them off as having just horrible intentions for you. Now, if they are doing things where they are like purposely leaving stuff out or purposely doing things behind your back and making it seem like that's not what's going on, like purposely gaslighting you, that's totally different. But there could be this assumption that someone is going to do you this way, and that may not be their intentions at all. So the theme of this reading is definitely let someone's true colors shine. What's the energy coming through for my Pisces? So I have patience, and we also have chance. This card has been coming up a lot. So yeah, patience. Making sure you're not jumping the gun. Making sure that you're also not giving up or throwing in the towel when you could be right there, reaching that goal or reaching that point that you're looking to step into. You could be right there. And if you give up, you miss your opportunity. Also, exercising patience with self. I will say that as well. But thank you, Pisces. I hope that was helpful. And next is Leo. And then after Leo, we're going to do Capricorn. Okay, so Leo, let's get into it. So what are the messages coming through for my Leos for the month of February? What is the energy coming through for my Leos for the month of February? February 2025. What does the energy look like for Leos for February 2025? All right, so I have the Seven of Cups in reverse. So this talks about the veil being lifted. The Seven of Cups talks about for one, the illusion of optionality, or the endless option card, where there's so many options or so many things to consider, and it's hard to see through what's genuine, what's authentic, what's meant for us at times, because of the fact that we may not necessarily be able to see 100% clearly, or things are not all the way revealed to us. So in the month of February, Spirit is going to be revealing to you anything that may be not in your awareness. Also with the Seven of Cups, if you have been in this space where it's like you just don't really know how to feel, or don't know how to emotionally process as well certain things that you've gone through with a romantic relationship, or how you feel about your career path, or whatever this may be, understanding is on the way. Spirit is also saying be careful of falling for the trap of optionality, where when you know that there's so many options to choose from, it can make us feel like us choosing any option is a loss to us to some degree. So an example of this is like knowing that you're great at multiple things in terms of a career or creatively. So when it comes to your career, it could feel like you've lost out on something, or that you missed out on something. Or in your love life, you could have a plethora of options, and the fear of you missing out on one option being better than the other one can keep you from choosing it all, or just being unhappy. So it's making sure you don't fall for the trap of optionality to where it makes you unhappy with anything you choose. It also talks about, with the Two of Swords, maybe not having full understanding of all the great things ahead of you. Spirit is saying where you don't know what plan, or not plan, but path is ahead of you, does not mean that you're on the wrong path. And also with the Two of Swords, where someone leaves you in a space of not knowing and not having answers, it stems from their own personal confusion. So where you could be, wanting to know, like, okay, why does this person not have a clear understanding of what we're doing with this? And why does this person not communicate certain things? It's because they may not even have the level of self-awareness necessary for them to show up. So it's paying attention to your person in terms of whether or not they do seem like they're lost or a bit confused in any way. Also with the Four of Cups, it does talk about, again, making sure that you don't fall into this trap of thinking that you're missing out on something, or that you will miss out on something, which is not necessarily true. Okay, some of you could feel like you've missed your mark. When with the Four of Cups, there's a cup that's always there. There's an opportunity that's always there. But because we focus on what we feel like we may have missed out on, we may not see it. And we gotta allow ourselves to see opportunity, even in these moments where we feel like we've missed out on past ones, Also, when it comes to someone that you could be dealing with where it's a concern around whether or not they are genuinely wanting this relationship, I think that could be a source of miscommunication that you guys have, where it's like, I really want to make sure that me and you are on the same page, and I don't know if we are. Arguments are just root problems finally coming to the surface through temporary events or momentary events. So really and truly, you could be arguing about butter, but really at the root of it, there could be this, concern elsewhere in the relationship that's finally coming up. Now, the last card we have is the Death card, which talks about internal change. Wheel of Fortune talks about external change. The Death card talks about internal change, where things are changing about our habits, our perspective, what we want for ourselves, what we gravitate towards. And this change could be good. It can be bad too, but it can be good. And I think that this change that you guys are going through is coming from a more so productive place, where you're like, you know what? I've changed so much from what I've been through, and I know exactly what I have to work on. And Spirit wants you to see the value in how maybe circumstances in the past weren't necessarily that pleasant, but they've taught you so much about yourself and are now putting you in a position to be empowered and to be a lot more confident with you knowing self and working on self. Give me 2 more cards for my Leos. What's the energy around them for February? What are the messages coming through? So yes, we have resilience. This goes right into what I was saying. It's like in you being through your circumstances of the past, or through the circumstances you've went through in the past, through you being resilient, you've learned so much that you could even write a book, tell or teach other people about life experiences and how to navigate them in your own way. So it's important that you lean on your understanding that you've gained. You gained it for a reason. You've gained it for a reason. But thank you, Leos. I hope that that was helpful. And thank you for your support. And Capricorn is next. And then we got Gemini right after. All right, so Capricorns. What does February have in store for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements? What does February have in store for Capricorns for February 2025? So, we have the Four of Cups. So you could be deciding to be very mindful about what you pour your attention into. Like the Four of Cups, it's the recognizing of what you, or how do I rephrase this? It's the recognizing of how much power you have in just you paying attention, which is so true. Like everybody's trying to get your attention, whether you're aware of it or not, okay? Somebody trying to get you to buy something. Somebody trying to get you to, pay attention to them and what they got going on. So with the Four of Cups, I think that February is like, I'm being more intentional about what I pay attention to, whether that's certain news, whether that's certain, drama at work or people at work. This could even be certain negative thoughts, like trying your best to kind of tune out the things that don't necessarily reinforce positivity. You also could be maybe a bit turned off by somebody who's trying to pursue you romantically. It could be either out of not feeling appreciated emotionally and not feeling valued when it comes to, what your contribution to this connection or this relationship has been. Or them taking it for granted to some degree, or maybe not realizing how sweet they've had it. Also have the Three of Wands, which talks about moving from a place of knowing where you're trying to go. The Three of Wands is like, I have a vision. I know what I want to come in for me, and I'm willing to take action in a way where I kind of meet those things that I want to manifest for myself. So February is going to be one of those months where you kind of bridge the gap between what you want and where you are right now. All in your efforts. Also, when it comes to somebody seeing you like living your best life and choosing to not, again, pour all your energy into them in a way where you're losing your mind, it's important that you don't get sucked into this like feeling bad or feeling guilty for making decisions based off of what's in your best interest. Also have the Queen of Swords, which talks about insight, being level-headed, also being extremely truthful. So I think that this month is going to challenge you to kind of speak your mind. If you have been holding back from expressing where your boundaries have been kind of encroached on, or having a hard time in terms of just speaking up in terms of your perspective on things, in terms of a job, I think that this month could make you want to say something. Also have the Seven of Wands. So this does talk about blocking. Okay, you could be blocking Queen, blocking King this month. Also, if you have noticed that just in general, Maybe you've been a lot more defensive than you would like to be. I think that this month is going to challenge you to get out of that space of being so defensive. Okay, let me pull 2 more cards. Okay, so we have Ancestry and also Evil Eye, which represents protection. So this does talk about you being protected in the spiritual realm, especially when it comes to your ancestors. It does also speak to you being protected in terms of certain people showing their true colors. So if people start to show you who they are, know that that's a form of protection. Also, if there is a family relationship that has been just kind of rocky, I think that prioritizing strengthening that relationship, Hey Necessary Truths, is going to really, really benefit your peace of mind. Because I feel like this is really messing with you, but also could be messing with this family member in particular. But yes, oh, hey, Anthony. So that was Capricorn, and then we have Gemini. Thank you guys for also coming in. We already did Taurus, Aries, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Leo, Capricorn, and we're about to do Gemini. All right, so Geminis, this is for you. What does Gemini have in store for February 2025? What is the month February have in store for Geminis? So I have the Strength card as the first one. So there could be a Leo of significance this month, but it does also talk about like perseverance, if I can talk. Perseverance, and it talks about like personal strength. You really knowing, for one, where your strength lies, and in your ability to walk away from situations from a place of not reacting, not going there where you could, is where you're like patting yourself on the back. So an example of this could be like at work. There could be certain people who are very confrontational, and in you refraining from giving into that at the moment, you could be very much tempted, but in you not feeding into that temptation, this grants you peace of mind. Or with a relationship, if there has been a lot of stress and your person has been being just very disrespectful to you and just crossing all type of boundaries, you could be resisting that urge to kind of give in to their foolishness. And in you doing this, this could be helping you a lot when it comes to reinforcing your boundaries to some degree. It also talks about ego. If there is anybody around you who's choosing to act from their ego, who you care about, whether this is a Leo or another zodiac sign, it's important that you aren't moving with a sense of returning that same energy. You do not have to be in your ego right with the other person existing in their ego. I also have the Ace of Pentacles, which talks about opportunity that always existed. Let me plug you guys up. So whenever the Ace of Pentacles comes up, it talks about us having opportunity that always existed, but we weren't either ready to step into it yet, whether that's because there were some things we needed to clear out of our space, out of our energy, things we didn't really understand, for us to now see that opportunity. Okay, but the thing with opportunity, it always exists. It's just there's things that we have to clear out the way in order to get to it, whether that's mental fog, us having things physically existing in our life that we just don't have cleared up, whatever this may be. So I think that the month of February is going to challenge you to do some of those things. Maybe clearing space for, you know, a new career path where you're like, okay, I'm going to go to school for this. I'm going to take action on this. And in you doing so, this opens a whole new realm. This also talks about the opportunity to strengthen a bond or to make things a lot more serious within a relationship. But of course, there being things that have to be cleared out in order to make way for this. Whether old ideologies, perspectives, old situations that kind of linger, whatever this may be. Also have the Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So it does talk about, if you have been trying to rebuild a relationship with someone where they just seem confused about what they want, you may need to give them some more space is the message here. They could exist in a vacuum of confusion that extends beyond you, okay? You have to give them that moment so that they can be clear on what they want. Also with the Seven of Cups, I kind of said this message for another zodiac sign, but be careful of getting swept into optionality where we feel like there's an endless amount of options that we're missing out on something by either making a choice on a person or a career or whatever this may be, and not understanding that we don't know what those other options come with. Every option or opportunity or person comes with its own unique things and conditions that comes with it. And optionality will have us feeling like we're losing when we might not be, actually. Have something is better than nothing. I don't mean that literally because, of course, there could be bad relationships, but you know what I mean. Anywho, so I have power lines, which represents energy, and also have surrender. So in regards to the further messages that I kind of have here, it's important that you're not letting your energy be like zapped from you, either through energy vampires or people who transfer negative energy, either knowingly or unknowingly. And your energy will tell you when you need to let go of something. If it starts to become too draining for you to manage from a place of like spiritually feeling drained, that is a sign. Thank you, Geminis. I hope that that was helpful. And next is Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, this is for you. What are the messages for February 2020? For 2025? I said 2020. What are the messages for my Aquarius for February 2025? So we have the Emperor. So the Emperor talks about getting things structured, managed, under control. This month is going to challenge you to get control over your schedule, your timing, and also a relationship with a father figure. Now, if you're a parent, this could be like trying to manage a relationship with the person you may have children with. If you are a father, showing up, doing your part. For some of you who are also in entrepreneurship or may have a business, this could be a month where managing like the logistics or the back end of your business could be a big focal point. Like, how can I make my business run smoother with me eventually having more of a workload or even having a huge workload as of right now? Also, if you do have a partner where it feels like they could be a bit controlling in the sense of like what you can wear or what you can do, or just very micromanaging, you could be questioning this month if that's something that you want to still keep alive, this relationship. I also have the Death card, which talks about internal change. I always say this: Wheel of Fortune is external change, change that has nothing to do with you per se. Death card represents internal change, where parts of us, we're changing our opinion, our perspective, our wants, our desires, stuff like that. So I think that this month, a lot of you have already been undergoing a lot of different changes due to maturity. and due to you taking more accountability and control over your life. This month is about more so integrating those internal changes to maybe external changes. So maybe, you know, saying I'm good off of certain friend groups, or I'm good off of certain activities or certain distractions. I also have the Fool card, which talks about taking a risk, starting fresh. This might be the month where you feel encouraged enough to kind of start your new year or your new year activities, new year resolutions. I know people hate that word now, so I won't use it too much, but I think that you could have a partner too who's willing to take a whole new initiative on this relationship. It could catch you off guard though, because it's like, why didn't you do this before? What exactly is the reason for the switch up now? I have the Knight of Pentacles as well, which talks about rebuilding, restructuring. It talks about slow and steady. And in you doing so, building an even stronger foundation for yourself in whatever you're rebuilding or building up in the first place. So this month, if you have been wanting to make more money, I think the details are within money management. Spirit is definitely encouraging you to look at how you can kind of put more money back into your pocket and less going out. Also, there could be a Virgo of significance. Okay, possibly an Aries. I got Taurus. I also have Scorpio. So we have love and action. Okay, well, let's start with this message. So it's important to know that love is an action. It's more of an action word than just a keep saying, because there's a lot of things that a person is going to have to do that is from the place of love. The actions are inspired from a place of love. So love looks like, I'm going to respect you and I'm not going to do certain things like go on social media and embarrass you by being, you know, maybe flirtatious with people that I'm not supposed to. Or I'm going to think of you when I'm going to think about you when I go to the grocery store and pick up food before I come home, because I know that you're probably going to be hungry too. Like that, I know those are simple things, but love looks like more like an action. So if you're wanting to know if someone cares about you, are their actions inspired by not wanting to hurt you, not wanting to harm you, or are they inspired by putting themselves first? Is it a me versus us mindset that this person may occupy? And I will let you know. And also checking in on yourself too. Do you have a me versus us mindset too? And nipping it in the bud. But yes. All right, so Virgo is next. And then after Virgo is going to be my last sign, which is Libra. All right, so Virgos. What are the messages coming through for my Virgos? So we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Well, if there is any dishonesty, Virgos, that exists within a person around you, within a business deal, whatever this may be, where there's this question around like dishonesty or someone just trying to get over on you, it will come out. You may be shocked in the month of February where it's like, oh wow, I didn't know that this person was really putting on this facade of being this way, and they really had these intentions towards me, or they really felt this way about me. So allow people to show you who they are, because in due time they will. People always will. It always talks about, it's also talking about, this being a month of accountability in terms of anything you've been putting off, putting to the side, doubting yourself in doing, and just maybe running away from out of fear. This month is going to hold you to the fire when it comes to showing up and saying, you know what, I'm not going to maybe sideswipe what I really would like to succeed in, or I would really like to take a chance on. Also, if there has been someone who has been very avoidant and may just randomly want to pop back in after, you know, go and ghost for some time, let this person again reveal their true intentions to you before overly committing yourself to the situation. I also have the Six of Cups, and I also have the Nine of Wands. So it does also talk about being mindful of being in a reflective state in February for way too long. We go to the state of reflection temporarily. We don't want to exist there for extended periods of time where we don't make new judgments or analysis off of the things that we've learned to then keep reflecting on. Because whenever we're going into a state of reflection, we can only reference things that we've already experienced to reflect. If we're trying to reflect on the future, that's anxiety, and that's projecting things that we think will happen, not the reality of things. So we only want to go into a state of reflection to get answers, understanding as to where we, need to learn from our past and whatnot, and then to go take this wisdom and understanding and compare it to reality. So Spirit says, do not be too caught up in the reflective state in the month of February. Also with the Nine of Wands and the Page of Swords, stress management. You have to be mindful of putting too much on your plate to where if you're not able to keep up with it, you're now beating yourself up in terms of calling yourself lazy or perceiving it as you just not being able to stick to certain things or it not being for you. No. Time management and also stress management and knowing how to delegate is going to be your best friend this month. Okay. What are the messages coming through? Hold on, let me see. What are the messages coming through for my Virgos? So we have focus and we also have patience. So yes, be mindful of what grabs your focus this month. Is it things that are going to help you grow, expand? Okay, this goes right back into what I was saying about the reflection energy, so I won't drag it. But with patience as well, if you are finding that impatience is making you shy away from things, or your patience level has been astronomically long for certain things that have just kind of seemed pointless, it's important to adjust your patience levels for things. Sometimes we could be a little bit too patient for stuff that's not worth it and not patient enough for the things that are extremely worth it. We just gotta adjust the notches there. But thank you, Virgos. And my last reading is going to be for my Libras. So let's see what's going on with you guys. So Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. What are the messages coming through for the month of February 2025 for my Libras? What spiritual messages are coming through? So I have the Fool card. So this month is definitely going to challenge you to say, F it, I'm going to take a risk. Where you have been just sitting back and contemplating, if I take this, new job in this new city, will it be good for me? If I take this risk on this career venture, will it be successful? I think that this month is about like trying instead of trying to have all the answers without having anything to compare your understanding of whether or not things will be successful to, because you haven't tried yet. Also, you could be growing into a whole new sense of maturity where you're recognizing where like certain things you may have entertained in the past were just a little bit silly, or certain people you may have entertained or given the time of day to. I think there's a redirection energy that's kind of happening. I also have the Knight of Pentacles, which talks about, cards falling, which talks about slowly working your way up. If you have been in this space of being like, I should give up because it's taken me some time to grow my business, that's actually not true at all. I think that for some of you, you do have expectations that are maybe not that realistic in terms of how long it could take for you to be successful, especially if you have a business, let's say, that's revolutionary and maybe outside of the box. It could take a little bit more time for it to be recognized or for it to be noticed. Or if you're still in that stage of developing things, you're still in the process of building your business up. So just because it didn't blow up in like 1 year doesn't mean that your business has failed. You still have so much opportunity to grow. And most businesses don't succeed within the first year. They don't. That's why it's all about readjustment. But anywho, I also have the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So it does talk about, yes, time management. If there has been some ups and downs within your relationship, I think that your ability to keep calm and to not act on your emotional irritation is what's going to help you guys get to a place of equilibrium. Also, if you have been dealing with somebody who seems like they just kind of want to play the fence when it comes to keeping their options open, know that you may not be okay with this, and it's better for you to not frustrate yourself spiritually with this person. If you know deep down it's like, okay, I would never be okay with this. What are the final messages for my Libras they really need to hear for February? So I have energy and I also have action. So energy transfer is real. Energy vampires are real. Gotta be mindful of allowing yourself to be drained in any way by other people in this sense. Also, what you pour your energy into grows. So if you're being intentional about this, then you will see progress. Also, be mindful of the actions that you're taking this month and whether or not they align with making things better for you or making things worse. And be mindful of temptation in that sense. But this is what I see. I hope that that was helpful for my Libras. And I believe that we completed all of these zodiac signs. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will have some more readings for you guys pretty soon. Make sure you thumbs up this video. I will do like individual uploads where I chop the live up and I upload it for like each individual sign. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, that's okay. And I will see you guys later. I'll be back live in like, I want to say 25 minutes or so, and I'll be doing questions if you do want to get a question answered, which is like a personal reading. All right, I will see you guys.